Hey everybody, welcome to the second in our series of longest flights from each of our hub airports in the UK. Today is number 2 and we are in Edinburgh, and our longest flight out of Edinburgh in the A320 will run us down to Lisbon, Portugal. It is 6:30 in the morning in the early February, the 4th of February. Very again, thunder and clear weather. I just don't understand sometimes. Sun should be rising very soon. You can see it lightening up on the horizon slightly. We are pretty far north in the world, and it is coming into winter, so it's going to take a while for the sun to come up. But the city will be coming alive shortly. We got to get going from here, and we got a long flight, about 3.5 hours, I believe. So let's jump on board and get the aircraft ready to go. Alright, tech crew left all cockpit lights on for us so we can get her up and running. So we'll start. So parking brake, we'll ignore the thunder. Parking brake is set, chocks are removed, GPU is connected, throttles are at idle, and the master is on normal. Batteries are on, batteries are showing good. And generator switches are on, external power coming online. We'll get the adheres up and going. Now we got our panels up. So we can see what we're doing. A little bit of light is always good, and we'll do a click on each of our floodlights down here on the pedestal, just so we'll be able to see once we get the lights off. So our nav lights are on, panel lights are set, landing gear lever is down, flaps are retracted, spoilers are retracted, fuel quantity for this flight is set. Seatbelt signs coming on, and put the no smoking sign on as well, and we'll get the overhead lights on. So there we go. We're all set. De-ice we're not going to need. Transponder is 7,000 and on standby, and we are good. So let's get a hold of ground services, and we are going to get everybody out here that we can. So there's no baggage, interesting, and no catering, even more interesting. We'll get the fuel truck out. I just want to check our fuel level. And that's him over there. So, I don't know why there's no baggage or catering here, but whatever. And now we're just waiting. We had 7 minutes on the IRS alignment. We can go down here and start getting ready. So the aircraft information was fine. We'll enter our stuff in. Our alternate today is LPFR. Not sure why it doesn't put the alternate in, because I am entering it in SimBrief when I do up the flight plan. Flight number today is FL 730. Cost index of 25, and our cruising altitude today is going to be 32,000 feet. So here's where we're going: EGPH, which is Edinburgh, down to LPPT, which is Lisbon. Everything is all good there. Quickly come in here and we'll put in our flaps, and then we can change our settings. So 139 is our V1, 143 V2, 147 is our V2. Our VR is 143. 10,000 foot transition, 1,600 foot thrust reduction altitude. Flex temp, I have no way of calculating it for the aircraft, so we're just going to leave it as default. Oh, fuel trucks here. Let's go up to 70% fuel. Thank you. So we're going to take off on runway 24, and we are doing the Gosse 1C departure, and we're expected arrival into Lisbon is runway 21 using the IBOM 5B arrival. We can take a look at the flight. We'll go over to plan. Let's go out a little bit. So we're going to take off to the west, turn south. So we click through, head down over England, over the Channel, over France, over part of Spain, come around, and then there's our approach into the airport. So it's all looking pretty good. Let's get you set to 40. And that is working fine. So I'm going to get the APU fired up, and I will join you again once we're aligned. Alright, the IRSs are aligned. So we're pretty much ready to go. Transponder set. Throw the beacon on. Confirmed. Emergency lights are on. Crew oxygen is on. Not that they do anything right now, but we'll put on some cabin air for the back. FMC is set. 32,000. Departure briefing is done, and the doors are all locked. So APU is up and running. APU bleeds will come on. External power will go off. APU generators are on. Thrust levers are idle. Area is clear. Fuel pumps will come on. And we will take off the dome light. There we go. A little too much light. And we will start the push. Parking brake comes off. And engine start lever to ignition, and engine number 1 is up and running. We're going to go tail right as soon as we hit the road, because we're going to be taxiing off to the northeast. There we go. Hear the engine starting to spool. It's not a long taxi today. There we go. We're on the line. Thank you very much for the push.
Procedures on this British
get out of here.
Aircraft. The captain and the crew are here for your safety.
So engine 1 is up. Hydraulics are coming online. Engine number 2 starting.
First, check your seatbelt is securely fastened. Insert the metal tag into the buckle.
Let's go listen to it.
By pulling on the loose end. To unfasten, simply lift up the metal flap on the buckle and pull apart. You'll find the seatbelt sign in the panel above your head. When it's on, you must fasten your seatbelt. We'll provide extension seatbelts for infants. We suggest you keep your seatbelt fastened and visible during our flight, even when the sign is off. Your life jacket is either beside or underneath your seat. To use it, take it out of the container and place it over your head. Pass the tapes around your waist and tie them securely in a double bow at your side. Inflate your life jacket when you leave the aircraft. We will supply life cots for babies and life jackets for children.
Winding up.
In the unlikely event of the aircraft having to make an emergency landing, you'll be told to take this protective brace position. But when seated facing rearwards in
19,
Club
and
World,
we
you
have
must
stable
adopt this
engines, so
position.
generators are on.
We will now
We
explain
have
how to
fuel
leave the
flow for
aircraft
both
in an
engines.
emergency.
Hydraulics are
Move
on.
quickly to the closest usable exit, taking
APU
nothing
bleed
with you.
comes off,
High
APU
heel
can
shoes
come
must
off,
be taken off as
and
they
mode
may tear the
selector
evacuation slide.
to normal.
Emergency
For
lighting,
taxi
including
checklist,
floor
Windows
level
Pro
lighting, will help
Peaks
you
will
find
come
your way
on.
to the exits. These are clearly
Heading
signed.
indicators and altimeters are set
There are 2 exits at the
1013,
rear
set
of the aircraft
check
and
cross
2 at
check.
the front of each cabin
Standby
section.
instruments
Your crew will now
1013
point out
checked.
the exits nearest to
Radios
you.
and avionics are set. Autopilot is set 32,000.
To open
Flight
the
director
doors, move the handle
is
in
set.
the direction
Max
of the
auto
red
brake
arrow.
is set.
Opening
Flaps
the
1
doors
for
automatically
takeoff. Elevator
inflates the
trim will
evacuation
go to
slides. The
1
slides
up
can also be inflated by
and
pulling
flight
this
controls.
handle.
Full left,
Jump onto the slide
full
and
right,
move away from
neutral,
the aircraft.
full
If
forward,
the aircraft has
full
landed
back,
on water,
neutral,
these slides detach to form rafts.
left rudder, right
As you
rudder.
leave the aircraft, inflate
Controls
your
are
life jacket
free
by
and
pulling the red
correct.
tag. If necessary, blow into this mouthpiece
We
to
are
top
clear
up
to
the air.
taxi, so taxi light will come
The
on,
life
turn
jacket
off
is
lights will
fitted
come
with a
on,
light and a whistle.
and we can taxi down to the end of the
Your
runway.
oxygen mask is behind the panel just above your head. If the cabin air system should fail, this will be released.
A little
Stay
bit
in your
too
seat
much.
and pull the mask towards you to
I
open
mentioned
your
before at the
supply.
moment,
Please note that the bag does
thrust
not
on the
inflate.
engines.
Place it over
quickly
your
get
mouth
carried
and nose
away with
and adjust the band to
it just
secure
rolling
it.
o-
Then breathe normally.
Continued
Do make
acceleration
sure
while
your
in
own
idle.
mask is correctly fitted
Which is
before
not
helping
quite the
anyone
way it
else.
works in
some
real life.
areas, you release
Dude, where
the
are you
mask
going?
by
I'm
pulling
coming
on
down the
this coloured
taxiway.
streamer. If you're in a Club World
I bet you're gonna
sleeper
stop
seat,
there
you
too,
may
aren't
need to
you?
reach through the dividing screen to retrieve your mask. All electronic devices, including mobile phones, must be switched off, and all headsets must be removed whenever the engines
Alright,
are
so
running
we're
on the
heading
ground
for
during takeoff, approach, and landing. Please
Taxiway
ensure
here.
your mobile phone and
Oh,
any
you guys having a
devices that
meeting
can
out
send
here?
or receive calls or text messages remain off for the flight.
I think
Any
I'm gonna
items
turn these
with a
ground
flight
vehicles
safe
off.
mode should have this feature enabled now. Some electronic
'Cause they are
devices
in
can
the
be
way.
used once we're airborne. Please check High Life magazine. Take care your hand baggage isn't
Now, I
within
think it was
yards
this
or
airport.
exits.
There was a building in the middle of the
Jump the seat in
taxiway.
front of you or in an overhead
It's
locker.
interesting they've got this
But
runway
place items
lit up
on
and
the locker
going,
carefully.
because
They
on all
may
the
fall
charts
and
I
injure
have, this is
someone.
not in use.
As we prepare for takeoff, please make sure that your tray table is put away. Your seat is upright
That's the
and your
joys of-
armrest
oh, yeah.
is down.
Get out of the
Please
way.
stow your individual video
joys
screen
of,
and footstool if you have them. Finally, take a look at
Auto-
the safety card
auto
in the seat
modeling.
pocket. If you have any
Copa
questions,
Sky,
please
caravan
ask
over
your
there.
crew. We hope you
See
have a
where our
relaxed
speed's
and
starting to get away
enjoyable
from us a
flight.
little bit. Alright, so let's get the ground spoilers armed. Get them seated in the back. And we will do our TO config. Oop, didn't mean to come to a stop. We're pretty much at the end of the runway. Yeah, we don't have to go that way, we're good. I'll take that up to 20 miles. You still on 40? Yeah. Alright, no traffic on the way in from what I can see. Alright, we're at runway 24. Come to a halt, and parking brake will go on. So, parking brake on, flight instruments have been checked, instruments checked. V1 is 139, VR is 143, V2 is 147. Takeoff data is checked now, equipment is checked. Lights go on, strobe lights go on, nose wheel goes to takeoff. Turn off lights can come off. Pitot heat not required. De-ice not required. Transponder will go on. TARA, PWS will go on, and weather radar will come on. Alright, we are clear to take the runway. we go. Looking very nice. There's that thunder and lightning in the clear skies. I gotta get a grip on that. Alright, 10 degrees down rudder. Down rudder. 10 degrees down on the nose. Engines to 40% spool to stabilize. We're good. Brakes are released. Throttle to flex. Our runway is enabled. $80 knots. 100 knots. Ease back on forward pressure. V1 and rotate. Rotating back to 17 degrees. And positive rate. Gear up. Speed brakes disarmed. Continuing on runway heading. Throttles to climb. Nosing down for acceleration. Thank you for that. Aircraft is accelerating. Flaps up. Accelerate to 250. Autopilot coming on. As soon as we reach our acceleration, we will start our climb and we'll be back on course. There we go. We're making our turn. It's 5,000 feet. Of the clouds, you can see the sky is starting to lighten up. Well, it is to the west, so the sun should be behind us. Alright, come out on you to 80 miles. Alright. So we're going to basically head out towards Glasgow, which is out over here, and then we're going to turn south. Pretty much going to turn south. Almost right over it. Let's see, that's Glasgow is right about there, so we're going to come in and make that turn. There's 10,000 feet, so landing lights will come off, taxi light will come off, and seatbelt signs will come off. Breakfast service can start in the back. I think that's Glasgow Airport right there. It's probably Glasgow itself in here. Another wind farm. So our speed's coming up. We're accelerating again for our second level of our climb out as we head off. So enjoy breakfast, enjoy the entertainment on the IFE, and we will see you as we descend into Lisbon. So we've descended down to 25,000 feet, which is the maximum altitude for our start of the arrival at Ibum. We're going to go set this to 7,000 feet, which is our next altitude that we have to be at when we get over to here, which is Rhynor, and we got speed restrictions coming up as well. So we maintain 280 to FTM, then it's 250, and at Rhynor it drops down to 220. So I've entered the information into the approach mode. It's all set. Decision height's in, our winds and everything. So we're going to activate the approach phase. It's going to be pretty much straight in. A few left and right jiggles as we get lined up, but it'll be fairly quick. And the airport is only about 65 miles away. You can see the sun's now fairly high in the sky. We're coming over the hills here in Portugal, heading down towards Lisbon. I'm going to change the winds because I did put in the winds for the actual winds, but I had to change the weather to the few cloud preset because I was getting thunder and lightning for no reason, and it was driving me a little bit nuts, so I shut it off. I think for this approach I'm going to turn the terrain on as well. Weather's not going to be an issue, so we'll turn off the weather radar and turn on the terrain. So transition altitude for this airport is by ATC. I've set it at 12,000 feet? 12,000 feet, so that's where we'll kick in the lights and everything. And once we're down, we're going to exit to the left. I do not believe we have a gate assigned. Let me just check our airport. Yeah, we have no gates assigned to us at this airport. So we're just going to head down to Terminal 1, really. And pick a gate somewhere on Terminal 1. So it's been a good flight. Beautiful morning sunrise. There's FTM coming up, and we are restricted to 250 knots at FTM. So we'll start to slow down. So Rhynor, 33 miles away, and we got to be down at 7,000 feet. So we've got 13,000 feet to go. So we're traveling at 4 miles a minute. We got 30 miles to go, so that's going to be 7.5 minutes at 1,500 feet. That's 7,000 plus that's another 3.5. So we're going to have to pick it up to 1,800 to make sure we're down around 7,000 when we get to Rhynor, and after that we're down to 4,000, and that's our approach altitude, our intercept altitude for the ILS. There's the coast. So I forgot to start the chrono, but we're 2 hours 22 minutes from pushback. So 2 hours 37 minutes from when we got into the cockpit. So I'd say our flight time has probably been what, 2 hours and 15 minutes, 2 hours and 12 minutes. So not bad. It's been a good flight. And the local time here is 8:30 in the morning. So we're 20 miles out. We're 5 minutes to cover the 20 miles. It's 5,000, 10,000, about 8,000 feet. We're currently at 15. Yeah, that's about right. So 220 is our airspeed when we get to Rhinoir. We'll actually go down to 210 as per company policy. And then we'll turn off the weather radar, turn on the terrain, and see. Oh, you just turn on terrain, leave the weather on the other side. That's fine. So 12,000 feet, we'll run the approach checklist. We are tracking down the approach path for the star. So 10 miles out. We have to come down a little bit faster. Bring our speed back now, and we will get on the air brakes, or the air brakes, speed brakes. I think we're going to take her down a little bit faster. Slowing down as we go, so we'll get the landing lights are on. Fasten seat belts are on. Radios are set. Landing lights. Taxi light can go to on. Ground spoilers are in use. Auto brake will go for low. Nowhere near flaps, too fast. We got full speed brakes out. They wanted us over 7,000, which we are. I'll take that down to 25 now. Let's throw on the ground radar for the terrain. So we're 2,500 feet above the minimum. We have to be above 4,000 at upcat. But our intercept again is 4,000. So we're going to want to be down to there. We've got 30 miles to do it, so we're not bad. Or 17 miles to do it. Should be all right. coming down quickly. 15 miles to go, 2,500 feet to descend. You can see we're going to come down, make a left. Just make out the airport over there. Turn the landing system on, and we're picking up ILB, which is the correct runway, and 109.5. And we're currently 24 miles out. A little bit of cloud, not too bad. You can see we're bringing our rate of descent up. The aircraft will slow down. A little bit of terrain starting to appear, no concerns. So we're in altitude capture mode, we're in speed capture mode. Landing lights and taxi lights are on. Speed brakes will come in and we will arm. Speed coming down, first notch of flaps are going in. Altitude is coming in for the lock. Speed coming back to 180. And speed is checked at 200 knots, flaps 2. Systems are picking up the localizer, picking up the glide slope. We'll turn over to landing systems. You've got the weather on co-pilot side. 16 miles out. We have a good angle on the intercept. Airport in sight. Looking for movement on the ILS or the localizer, and we will go to the approach. The glide slope is now present. The glide slope is coming down, so we're going to activate the approach mode. There we go. Localizer is moving. Glide slope is moving. 12 miles out. Glide slope is captured. Speed coming back to 145. Flaps 3. The localizer is captured. Gear coming down. That'll add some drag.
2,500.
Alright, crew, take your seats.
Camera crew, please take your seats.
And flaps full.
2,500. 2,500.
And you can see the variations in the terrain there. Bouncing our altitude around on an altimeter radar. I think this is Lisbon here. Hills over to this side we're coming past. Again, a lot of turbines. Alright. Decision height for Category 1 landing is 547 feet. Cat 3 decision height, if we were flying down to Cat 3, is well, for a 3A, it's 50 feet. For a 3B, which is right to ground, is 0. But plenty of visibility. We don't need that today. Everything is looking very nice. Slight crosswind from the right. Runway elevation is 347 feet. I think we're going to try the recommended approach speed. See what happens. Maybe I won't float as much.
1,000.
I'm not sure if it's actually calculating the right things, but we'll see. There's all the hills and stuff that you find here. I know it's a very hilly area. Must have flattened this whole place out to put the airport in.
1,000.
Landing.
400. 300. 200. 100. 60, 50, 40, 30, 20. Retard. 5.
And we are down. Knots. Back, reversers off. 40 knots. Auto brake off. And we will exit the runway here. right. We're just gonna halt here for a second. We'll go through our after landing. So spoilers are disarmed, flaps are up, engine mode selector is in normal, landing lights will come off, strobe lights will come off, anti-ice will come off, APU will come on, brake temperatures, wheels are good, transponder goes to standby, radar's off, that's PWS is off, terrain mode comes off, elevator trim goes to, goes to takeoff, and taxi lights are on. Flap is open so we can start up the APU. Now we're going to taxi to our gate. So we're going to basically go across here. And then cross at G2 and G1, cross the other runway. And head over to the terminal. And go to one of the gates over there. Oh, interesting paint scheme there. That looks like Red Bull. Alright, we're cleared to cross. Actually, we're going to go over where these guys are. We'll take that one over there. We don't have an assigned gate here. I'll turn off our taxi light for when we pull in. I love the random lights all over the place. But I guess they're indicating where we would turn. Oh, we got guys waiting here for me, so we'll go over there. It's very nice of them. Not sure about them parking the pushback truck right there, but that's fine. There he is guiding us in. Dude, can't see you anymore. Let's there we go. Get a peek over the top of the there we go. Parking brake is on. Thrust levers are in idle. Ground contact has been made. Ground operations are started. Electrical power is on. APU can come off. Engine masters 1 and 2 are off. Nav lights will come off. Beacon lights will come off. All the other lights are off. Anti-ice is off. Passenger lights are off. Can you guys get the jetway, please? Thank you. Jetway is coming in. Flight director and landing systems are off. APU is turned off. Fuel pumps go off. Beacons are off. Heat cam status. Any issues? Nope. We're good. Doors are open. Penlight. The deers are fine. Avionics fine. No smoking. Can stay where it is. APU's off. Batteries are off. Guys, welcome to Lisbon. Hope you enjoyed the flight. This was the longest flight we have in the A320 out of Edinburgh. Join us for next flight where we do the longest flight we have out of either Manchester or London Gatwick. I haven't decided which one I'm doing next yet. But we'll see you then. Bye for now.